Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. We have an amazing show for everybody today. What do we have, Krystal?
Indeed, we do. We've got a bunch of our favorite panelists on, super panels. We also have great friends of the show, David Sirota and Ken Klippenstein on. But I wanted to start today with another little look at some sketchy potential Biden corruption. Now, we've seen a few of these stories starting to trickle out. We covered here his brother and a law firm that was running ads touting his ties to Joe Biden. Of course, we've covered Hunter Biden and some of the sketchy behavior there. Now we have a Biden son-in-law who is an investor in a healthcare venture capital firm, one of the founders of a healthcare venture capital firm. Now, let me read the open to this piece. This is reporting from ABC News. When the boutique tech firm Yosi Health developed software aimed at streamlining the nation's coronavirus vaccine effort, CEO Hari Prasad sought help from one of its earliest investors, a company with a special government connection. The investor was StartUp Health, and that special connection came through its chief medical officer, Howard Krein, who is married to President Joe Biden's daughter. The piece goes on, Sagar, to quote, ethics watchdogs who say this is extraordinarily sketchy and dangerous behavior. Yeah. They've got to be really transparent here to make sure that family business isn't intersecting with government business. And the reason I thought that this was significant, again, is, look, Biden ran on this promise to restore the soul of America. Mm-hmm. Democrats rightly took a hard look at the Trump-era corruption and nepotism. And I'm not saying that what Biden has done approaches the levels of nefariousness of the Trump administration. But when you run as being a moral actor, restoring the soul of America, these little stories that sort of seem to keep dropping and keep coming out are a really bad look.
Yeah, exactly right. And look, this actually is business as usual for him because according to ABC, after the firm was founded, well, Joe Biden has been an active supporter of the venture, headlining corporate conferences and inviting the company's executives to the Oval Office to meet then President Barack Obama. It's been a long time thing. Yeah, was Trump Inc. much bigger and much more brazen about its graft? Yes. Biden Inc., smaller, but also has its own problems. And you have to be honest whenever you're reporting on these things. And there just doesn't seem to be nearly the same level of intellectual curiosity around this. And more you can see from this. They say that, he does not make investment decisions and doesn't assist the companies. But look, he's a chief medical officer. He guides the thing. Joe Biden has spoken at their conferences. His executives use their access in order to get into the Oval with Barack Obama. That is a dream come true when you're a startup and you can show your investors that you're making impact. So don't come here and tell me you have not benefited to the tune of millions of dollars from your relationship with the vice president then and now the president of the United States.
And by the way, the company has not been shy about touting their connections in government as they're pitching to investors and other potential customers to try to seal those deals. I mean, look, I think there's a media story here as well, which is that this pattern of behavior from Joe Biden is not new.
No.
We had Ryan Grimm on the show. Remember that segment we did with him?
With every
Ryan
single
has
one.
Encyclopedic knowledge of Biden family corruption from the very early days when he was elected as a senator, as a very young man, some 40 years ago, where it was a sketchy bank loan.
Sold his home to some guy.
A sketchy lobbying deal. It's just one thing after another after another. Now, look, if you felt good about, the American people had all that on the table and it was covered thoroughly in the primary and covered thoroughly in the general election, you might go, okay, well, maybe they just don't care. But the fact of the matter is we don't really know because it got very, very little coverage. And in fact, when one of Senator Sanders' surrogates, Zephyr Teachout, came out with an op-ed laying out some of the questionable behavior and corruption around Joe Biden, I mean, that was treated as radioactive by everybody, including the Sanders campaign, who distanced themselves from any of that line of questioning. So for some reason, he's just gotten a total pass on all of this stuff.
Yeah, that's what happened. He got a pass. It's not like any of this was vetted. We were some of the only people who even looked into it. There were a few, 2 or 3 reporters who were even willing to go there. And then after he won the nomination, gone. It was nothing. And so even the primary, it was not even really litigated. Bernie refused to bring it up ever. And so did, and Tulsi and them didn't make it far enough into the process to actually be able to challenge him. And this is what happens. Now he's in the Oval Office. Who the hell knows what his family is doing around here?
Yeah, and I think part of how he gets away with it is that people like him.
Yeah, they do. They love him.
And so they always assume the best instincts, the best intent from him. And I'm talking about, in terms of people like him, I'm talking about like the journalist class here in D.C. or the rest of the political establishment where they feel like, he didn't mean anything by it. He's not personally corrupt. It doesn't matter if you're a nice person or not. When you allow this sort of behavior from your family members, it really takes a toll and does a number on how people feel about their government.
Yeah.
So wanted to bring that to you as sort of part of an emerging pattern that we're seeing in these little dribs and drabs of stories that are coming out around the people that surround Joe Biden.
That's right.
All right, Sagar, looking forward to what you are looking at today. That's next.